this person because they like this and I like that, I would say, and I know a lot, like if I was sitting in your shoes, I would probably think, what? Like lower those barriers, right? If you're friends just with the football team, you're only going to be friends with them, right? You need to have a diverse set of individuals in your life that you can provide value to when they need it, and vice versa. So when your car breaks, you can hit up your boy or your girl that's a mechanic. When you need help with your computer, you can go talk with this individual. When you want to go watch sports, you can be with this individual. Have a diverse set of friends. Have a diverse set of people in your network, because life is diverse. And the most successful people in this world can gain trust from these people, and these people. The most successful person from really what I see from one type of thing is Jay-Z, right? You might go, what? Jay-Z is best friends with Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. But Jay-Z can also go get the trust from the guy that has a bottle of malt liquor on the side of the road, right? Because Jay-Z sees them as two unique people. One guy has glasses and the other guy might not. That's how Jay-Z sees them. That's how you need to view every single individual, as a unique, different person that you can provide value to and they can provide value to you. And don't trust everybody, right? Obviously, but don't judge a book by its cover.
So continuing with like finding out what may be in store after college. So is what you're doing right now, like obviously you've really expanded it, but has this always been your dream job, and does this continue to be your dream job?
Yeah. A dream is a dream, right? I love my job. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to have the dream job. I mean, what is the dream job, right? Like a dream is a reality. I will confidently say that I have the best job in the United States, right? I mean, there's days that suck, but that's life. There's going to be days that suck. There's going to be days that are great. You just got to have fun with what you do, right? I'm making 50% less right now at almost 28 years old than I did when I was 24. I was making a lot of money then compared to now, but that doesn't matter because I'm having fun, right? And yeah.
And so you say you mentioned that you never really can have like the dream job itself, but you can always like have fun with the job you're in. How would you what advice would you give to someone who in the future may like get a job but be struggling to enjoy it and really find a passion for it? How would you encourage someone?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not having fun early on, quit. I mean, go find someone that you look up to. There will be something appealing to you, right? There's always a business or something, right? You might really like these cups for some reason, right? And this for you might be your enjoy. Well, someone makes these cups, go work for that company. And don't worry about your first paycheck, right? Don't worry about your second paycheck from your second job. Worry about learning as much as possible. Worry about growing your network. And yeah, once that happens, and from the individuals that I look up to telling me to do that, you will thrive throughout your career, because your 10th job or your 10th year in the professional world, that paycheck matters a lot more than your first. Don't worry about your first. Get your name out there. Learn. Be a individual that will literally work 7 days a week, 8 days a week, whatever, 9 days a week. Yeah.
So here's another question from one of our members, Wyatt Townsend. So what is one characteristic that you believe you possess, which is set you above your competition, and how has that led to your success?
Yeah, persistence, for sure. There's a bunch. Passion, curiosity, determination, but persistence. You got to be persistent. You got to knock on the door until that fucking door knocks down. And I'm sorry, my language is not the best, and I apologize for that. But you need to keep knocking, because everybody's going to get in your way and tell you no, right? But don't care. Keep the blinders on, but just keep knocking on that door. And if that door doesn't open, go around back and knock on that door. That's what you got to do. Got to be persistent. You have to be persistent. And look up to that guy right there, because Wright, and I'm letting you know this right now, and Wright, you are persistent. And I'm not just saying that. Wright, you come up in more meetings than you think. Wright is persistent. Wright is curious. Wright inspires me more than a lot of other people I interact with on a daily basis, because he's persistent. I went and looked at the doc last night for the first time at midnight, and y'all are on there writing the questions still. That's awesome. Y'all don't lose that, right? Look up to him, and I'm telling you, that guy, he's going to be a billionaire before he's 25. And y'all might think, no way, Wright's this, Wright's that. Wright will be a billionaire. I've never seen an individual like this kid, right? And I'm not just saying that. Like, look up to him. He is going to be the next big thing out of this area.
So, for the students here today, what do you recommend they study or pursue in college to have a successful career involving the sports industry? And what does a company like SEQL need to see in someone who's looking to work for SEQL?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what you study. Really, I don't even care if you go to school. What I look for in an employee is persistence, curiosity, determination, grit, and diverse, right? They have to be able to be in a diverse setting. They have to be able to learn. They have to be able to make mistakes. But studying, that doesn't matter, right? Like, I think the only people that really need to study are like doctors. I don't want a guy flipping hamburgers to do my ankle surgery tomorrow, but yeah, really, that's it. If you have persistence, I will hire the person flipping hamburgers to come work for us if they have persistence.
So, did you have a business mentor or someone that helped inspire you as you strove to work in the sports industry, and why were they such a great mentor for you?
Yeah, so my dad, and then another one is a guy named David Steinberg. If you ever get an opportunity to start your company really young, definitely situate yourself with people that have been there and done that, right? David Steinberg's 65 years old. I was at his house in Nantucket Thursday through Sunday this past week, just having fun, right? They want to be around youthful people, but you can also learn so much from them. They've gone around the racetrack a lot of times, and they know things that we just don't know about. And it's just because we're not stupid. It's just because we haven't experienced it. And but you have to be persistent, right? David, when I first told him about this idea, he didn't respond to me for like 85 emails. But then the 86th one, something popped in his head, and he was like, oh, wow. You got to be persistent, right? Because they have a lot of things on their plate. But if you show persistence, if you show grit, if you show what you can provide them, they will be along with you for the ride.
So that was our last question. So now I'm going to open it up to all of y'all. If any of you have questions, please go ahead and ask. Always.
So you touched on this earlier, but a lot of entrepreneurs you see on social media, such as like Gary Vaynerchuk, advocate against not against education,
Sure.
but they say that education isn't required to be a successful entrepreneur. Would you agree with that?
100%. I mean, yes, I do. But with that said, right now, how things are, like, people that will show up at the top of your inbox and others not will be because they have education tied to their name. It is definitely not needed, but listen, y'all should go to college. Like, trust me, like, if I had to do it over again, I would 100% go to college. It lays a good foundation and it establishes that network early on. The educational piece is not needed. You just need some type of college affiliated with your name.
Are there any more questions from any of y'all? Kellen?
How do you guys advertise, and how does that affect? How does the group you're trying to reach affect where you advertise?
Yeah, so right now we don't advertise actually. So right now everything's been organic. But when we begin advertising efforts, right, when we go from here to here from a growth perspective, it'll be influencer marketing, right? Y'all aren't gonna go and Google and type in SEQL, because if you do, SEAL will come up. You need to, influencer marketing, that's who y'all look up to. Y'all are on all these social media channels. How can we get in front of you on these social media channels from a hot, cool, hip influencer name perspective? And that's how we're gonna really do it.
Are there any more questions? Henry?
I know a lot of people wait for their company to get a lot of value and then sell it. Do you think you're going to do that, or are you going to keep working?
No, I'm definitely gonna sell it. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're telling our investors, right? We tell our investors, 3 to 5 year exit, probably a little longer, hopefully a little shorter. But you got to have an exit strategy when you go to mine, right? They're not just gonna throw in money and hope to never get it back. It's not a nonprofit. We view an acquisition, not an IPO.
So, I'm just going to follow up on that question. After you sell the business, what would you plan on doing after that?
Yeah. So regardless if SEQL's the biggest success or the biggest failure, I know what I'm going to go to Africa for 3 months actually, and I want to do philanthropical work with some youth, right? I've been to Africa 2 times, been really fortunate in that regard, but I want to go back and, I want to get involved with the community there. I also want to get into venture capital. I want to invest in a lot of young companies, but this won't be my first rodeo. I'm definitely going to start a couple other companies and be involved and invest and continue to have fun.
That's awesome. Any more questions? Noble?
Xander touched on this earlier. What specifically gave you the idea to make this company?
Want to know the real story?
Sure.
All right. It was October 22nd, 2018. I was at my old job. I was going to the bathroom, and I was on my phone. I kid you not. And I was like, I was on LinkedIn, and I was like, wow, like this would be kind of cool to have something like this for the sports world, where you could have your resume and people could find you. And then I called my best friend. I went to his house that night, and that was the genesis of the idea.
Are there any more questions?
So when creating the company, did you run into any problems with either creating a patent or running into a patent throughout your experience?
No, and that's a good question. So we thought we needed patents early on, but actually you don't need a patent. You just need to get to market, and you need to be better than everybody else. Like patents, we're not building like this crazy new infrastructure. We're a marketing company, y'all. Like it's important that like everything from our success will be how many hot people in the athletic industry, especially early on, right? The patents and all that cool algorithms and recommendation engines, that'll definitely come down the road. But for us, we're a marketing company, and we've been advised, most companies do this, you don't go after the patents early on. You need to get to market, you need to be better than everybody else, and then you will maybe have some unique things that you can patent.
Any more questions? Right?
I got 3 questions. First, kind of a school-related one. What's your relationship like with Mr. Geary? Because I know you guys are maybe good friends in college. Is that true?
Yeah, so David and I went to BMI together. Y'all know Mr. Geary? David's a great, really, David is and I'm not just saying this again, David might be one of the best people I know. He won the 3-legged stool at BMI, which essentially, it's an award that goes to essentially, I'd say, the best individual from an academic and athletic and a military perspective. And he's just a really good individual that I would encourage all of you to learn from. And he's really athletic. He played baseball at VMI, and all my roommates were baseball players, so I saw David a lot. But he was also a pretty good football player. I think he beat y'all on that field out there. And I'm excited for the Trinity game, y'all. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a really good game. I heard y'all are doing all right this year. Y'all just beat Benedictine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Did y'all go?
Yeah. Come on.
That's cool.
Ray, you want to keep your questions rolling?
So for the first time ever, like I saw Stack at the state championship in 2019. So like with Jamal like as a videographer. So did y'all have the same plan, like when starting Stack as you do now, like in the long run?
Nah. And 6 months from now, it's going to be a bigger plan, right? You got to continue to keep evolving. Do y'all know what Amazon started as? A book company, a bookstore, yeah, an online bookstore. Like Barnes & Noble, essentially they tried to make it online. But now, I mean, I don't know, but I go on Amazon like every day. And their vision's going to continue to keep growing, right? I mean, Amazon's getting into healthcare, they're getting into this, they're getting into that. You know, soon, it's a pretty lofty bet, but I bet FedEx and UPS will not be around because Amazon will want to conquer that so that they can get better margins. And that's a very lofty thing. I don't know if that'll happen. Don't hold me to that. But Amazon has continued to expand.
Lastly, what's SEQL's relationship with like Zone 6 and Legends?
Yeah, so we have a partnership with Legends, and that's his clothing that I'm wearing. And Zone 6 is just, like an affiliate partnership. They're a great company, right, that have gotten us access into a lot of events. And
Gotcha. So I know earlier someone asked about like the marketing.
Yeah.
So does the Legend specifically help you with that? Like you guys ship, the SEQL ship like merch to athletes to help, I guess, market themselves?
Yeah. And eventually, this will be a revenue generator for us. But like I said, we're really focused on building this brand, this marketplace, right? We're not focused on short-term profitability. We're focused on long-term growth. So we will hand it out right now, right? But eventually it could definitely be a revenue generating source for us.
All right, any more questions? All right, thank y'all so much for coming. Thank you,
y'all.
Rob.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.